Green Noise is back for season 2.
Welcome to Green Noise, a podcast series from CapeNature that is bringing nature to life, and we use white noise to try to sleep better, but green noise to make life better.
You've got this wall of fire coming towards you. What are you going to do?
It's a massive shift in tourism.
To build an inclusive and connected society, especially in the Western Cape.
Women just do things differently.
Welcome to another episode of the Green Noise podcast from CapeNature, the Biodiversity Conservation Authority of the Cape. My name is Dan Corder. We are shooting, you're watching an episode from season 2. We are shooting in the absolutely stunning Assegai Bush location in the Jonkershoek Nature Reserves. Just one of the conservation areas that CapeNature does such a fantastic job of preserving, celebrating, and creating in such a way that all kinds of people, South African and overseas, can come and enjoy this incredible space while not degrading it, because ecotourism and sustainability are fundamentally crucial to CapeNature. I'm getting nods from one of my guests who works for CapeNature, so I think I nailed that intro. We're going to talk about how important it is for universal access, for everybody to be able to enjoy the incredible blessing of our biosphere, of our environment in and around the Cape where CapeNature operates today on this podcast, with a specific focus on seniors, because I think that there's, and we're about to find out certainly about the specifically beautiful relationship that seniors have with their natural environment and how they like to enjoy it and what they like to gain from it. Now, I know that for everybody, the concept of old age is a different age. Just yesterday on TikTok, I was called middle-aged and I'm 31. And so it just depends on your framing. But we're going to let the two people who I have on the podcast speak more about their understanding of the seniors that we are talking about on this specific episode. So without further ado, I'm delighted to welcome our two guests. The first one is Fatima Schloss from CapeNature. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And then Marilyn Hallett, who heads up the You've Earned It. And I said it like that because it does have an exclamation mark at the end. The You've Earned It project. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. Thank you for having me as well.
So let's start with you. What is the You've Earned It project about?
You've Earned It is a digital and community platform for South African 55 pluses. We've just reduced down from 60 to 55.
Okay.
So 55 pluses. And we produce content that is tailored to this age group, content that is on point and relevant and really interesting. So come and have a read, and covering all the issues that and areas that 55 pluses have in their lives. And we also provide exclusive benefits and offers and discounts to this age group as well.
Amazing. So tell me a little bit about, my main frame of reference is my father, who at the age of 70 is hiking 15 to 25 kilometers a day through the Cedarburg. And I know that that's not the average human experience of anybody. But tell me about the 55 and ups, the seniors who you work with and create material for. What broadly are they looking for from their nature experiences?
Well, I think first of all, we need to remember that this age group is really active, engaged and vibrant.
Totally.
And aging well is of great importance. So I think that the finding aging well and healthily is so important that people like your father, there are many 55 pluses like that who are hiking, who are doing gentle walks, who are doing exercise classes, Pilates, all kinds of things, but actively taking part in nature. And I think that nature is hugely important to this age group. I think it's also a legacy that conservation is so important, and it's a legacy that they want to have for their grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And longevity is real.
Yeah.
And, there are more and more people living to over 100. And I think people are certainly waking up to the fact, the people themselves, that to live longer, we need to be aging healthily and doing well. And exercise is one of the 5 pillars of aging healthily. And aging healthily means physical exercise. It means doing all kinds of things, nutritionally, hydration, all kinds of things to actually keep well. So I think the hiking and walking is a very, very important part of it.
Amazing. What is your favorite thing to do? Like what really gets you up in the morning?
The Kruger Park.
Oh, amazing.
Doesn't get me up in the morning. It's saving to go to the Kruger Park. No, there we go. Wildlife and nature.
Okay.
Can I just a little story about that?
Yes.
You've Earned It ran a series of surveys last year, and one was on travel and leisure. And guess what came out tops? It was actually nature and wildlife were the two top destinations.
Interesting.
So I think that actually says a lot.
Totally. And there's so much of a richness of like opportunities for nature and wildlife in the Cape and through CapeNature's different reserves. Fatima, tell me about your work at CapeNature, what your role is and what your particular interest or appreciation of the love that seniors have and the opportunities that they want to take advantage of in CapeNature's kind of conservation areas.
Yeah, so I'm the contact center lead at CapeNature, and
Why is that?
we are responsible for revenue generation. So
Okay.
that's where the magic happens.
Okay.
And then, of course, to deliver excellent customer service, to have a seamless booking process, and to ensure that by the time the booking is concluded, the customer is left excited for their upcoming holiday. And I think it's important to just remember that we're not just selling a product, we're not just selling an accommodation unit or a hiking trail campsite. We're selling an experience. And so for us to be part of that experience is wonderful, knowing that you contributed to somebody having a bit of a getaway away from the busyness, And so, that is what we strive for in the contact center, is to make memories.
Absolutely. How many, are CapeNature spots very popular with seniors?
Yeah, definitely. Kochelberg and Cedarburg, those are our top performing reserves, generally speaking. But our seniors demographic is quite varied. We've got a wide variety and we try to cater to their needs. So we've got the active traveller. They'll book the multi-day trail. So that's the Whale Trail, Marloth, Swellendam multi-day trail. And then you've got your avid birder. So they'll go to your Kochelberg and your Gamkabergs, that type of thing. And then obviously there's people with mobility challenges.
For sure.
Yeah, so we need to cater to their needs as well. So we've got selected reserves, we've got selected products which have universal access. And so those are the type of bookings that we get.
I remember Roshapan is one of those with universal
Roshapan
access.
as well, and Grootvaardersbosch as well.
Okay.
We get those types of inquiries. And then you've got your seniors that like to go away on the couples retreat. So they book their annual couples retreat.
Oh, gorgeous.
And they go away with their
Romance
friends.
never
and that
dies,
type
hey?
of thing.
It's only the kids who don't know about romance anymore.
No. So they're very diverse, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Marilyn, tell me how You've Earned It actually started, because this isn't the kind of work that you have done for the vast majority of your career life. Where was the inspiration? What caused you to take that leap? It's a brave thing to do, and it's a very, very different thing than what most people spend their lives focused on.
No, absolutely, Dan. Entrepreneurship was never on my radar, never. I spent 30 years at UCT in academic recruitment, and I fell into this. And my husband and I returned home from an overseas trip visiting family, and in those days I had traveller's checks. And I went into the bank to exchange the traveller's checks, and I saw that they had a program for the over 55s. I wasn't that age at that time, but I was just intrigued. So I said, well, why don't I know about this? Or why I've never heard about it. And they said, well, you have to apply for it if you want to join. I thought, well, how do you apply for something you don't know about?
Yeah.
So curiosity got the better of me, and research and writing has always been a love of mine. So I started researching this topic and found this is pretty interesting. And my interest led to a book that was published by Juters.
Okay.
And in 2008.
What was the book called?
It was called You've Earned It.
Oh, good.
You've Earned It.
The brand consistency.
Indeed.
It's a pillar. That's very good.
But I can't even I can't account for the title because it was, or take, what's the word? Merit for the title because it was a Juters employee that came up with that, and we thought, this is perfect.
That's fine. You didn't need to tell us that.
Oh,
run with
should
it.
we cut that out?
And from the book, what happened next?
No, very quickly we realised that we needed to go online to keep everything current. And so 2011, we went live with the website, and 14 years later, here we are.
And are you on all the socials? Are you tweeting? Are you Facebooking? Are you Instagramming?
Interesting, we Facebook and Instagram, and we've been told we need to go on to TikTok, and we're exploring that at the moment.
That's
So,
my game.
Yeah.
Over on that side.
And we have a very nice a private Facebook group called The Hub, where we ask our readers to come in and have the private conversations. Nothing to do with advertising, nothing to do with anything. Come and have those chats about whatever you want to chat about.
So is it you being a star lifestyle vlogger? Do you have a team of creators? Like, how does the business work? Because, I mean, I'm fascinated because what you are doing and what you've been able to do is something that many young people actually dream of doing through social media and the ways of creating content for people, but you're nailing it at a rock star age.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's we've got a team of people. We've got my daughter-in-law has joined us, and because we need to take You've Earned It into the future. And we can talk about the growth in a moment, but this demographic is growing hugely, and we need to prepare for the future. And she has her interests are finance and strategy. So she's strategizing to take You've Earned It into
Fabulous.
the next few years. We have
That was a good transfer move, the daughter-in-law
exactly,
into the
yes.
family. That was a good call.
Absolutely. Good for succession planning as well. So there we go. And we have our social media creator. We have somebody who manages all the small businesses who come and advertise their mom and pop accommodation, restaurants, etc., etc. So there's a team of about 5 of us.
Okay, we'll talk about the growth now. We all want to know about the growth.
It's really interesting. This demographic, the 55 plus demographic, is due to double before the year 2050. Those stats come from the World Health Organization. It's huge. I don't think people are taking this on board. Governments and they need to prepare for this in terms of socially for pensioners, etc. This is a huge growth. So if you're talking, we've got at the moment 8.1 million 55 pluses in South Africa. The growth in this country will be up to over 16 million. People are battling to save for retirement, and you may have seen that article recently about people may start having to work a lot longer. The article, I think, by Santam was working till about the age of 80, which we all understand people are not saving enough. But the growth is absolutely huge, and that is a global phenomenon. And I think that every organisation needs to start preparing for that. I think places like CapeNature have already, but there are a lot of places have not. And yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how we all look at Japan as this strange world where most people are now tending towards 50 plus or 60 plus, but that could be a lot of countries in the very near future, as you've said. So, Fatima, I wanted to ask, what are the specific questions and requirements seniors often have when considering a CapeNature accommodation?
Our most popular question is, do you offer senior citizen discount? Of course. Of course. Budget constraints,
Or just liking a deal.
Yeah.
I would take a deal if I had all the money in the world anyway.
Exactly. So, so definitely, do you offer senior citizen discount?
Okay.
Yes, we do. CapeNature does offer 30% senior citizen discount. And then we... Obviously,
Sorry,
I said...
Please define a senior. Is it 55 like You've Earned It, or is it 65 like
60.
the government?
It is 60.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's 60. So we offer 30% senior citizen discount to all South African senior citizens, right? And then obviously, like I mentioned earlier on, we've got the universal access. So another popular question is, do you have reserves that offer universal access? And we do. And I think there's a lot of establishments that don't offer that option. So people are looking to get out into nature, but obviously we need to be able to accommodate them and their needs as well. Those are the popular questions that we get in the contact center from our senior citizens.
Interesting. And considering what Marilyn was saying earlier and what you were saying about active seniors and the rest, are there often questions about just how hard is this trail? Like about easy trails that are safer to walk on versus more arduous, challenging ones?
So they'll ask us what the terrain of the trail is. Is it an easy, is it a moderate walk kind of thing?
It's interesting because the Algeria trails are not casual.
Yeah,
the ones in the Cedarburg.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And you mentioned that
But we get a lot of seniors seniors
And
that
Algeria
want to go and
are the
do
requests.
the overnight trails even in the Cedarburg.
that's
Yeah, they do
fascinating.
multi-day trails in the Cedarburg. And so, yeah, those are the types of things that they ask us. Yeah, and our agents are very knowledgeable, so they're
I'm
able
sure.
to assist telephonically via email. And then we've also got an online booking platform where the seniors can still get their discount. So yeah, we've got quite a bit of options available for
That's
them.
tremendous. I'm just amused imagining like seniors being ID checked for their discount the way an 18-year-old gets ID checked at the end of matric at a club. It's like a grand circle of life kind of thing. Have you been seeing any growth in the number of senior citizens who are coming to and having a fabulous time at CapeNature reserves?
Yes, definitely, Dan. So our senior citizen demographic is growing year on year. It's consistently growing. 2024, we had an increase in senior citizen sign-ups. So those are new customers, an increase of 16%.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then our bookings increased by 43% compared to the previous year.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah, so people are wanting to be out in nature. They are wanting to immerse themselves in the peace and tranquility that our reserves offer.
Are there certain times of year where these kinds of promotions for seniors are available, or is it all the time?
It's all the time. So our senior citizen promotion is an always-on promotion, so it runs throughout the year. But what we do is periodically we'll check what the bookings are like in the system.
I see.
And we'll look at maybe pushing out a social media post for midweek stays. Yeah, because seniors like the quiet. So our weekends do get a little bit busy, and so they prefer to go out during the week because they are flexible.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody listening or watching, how can they go and find out about all of this deliciousness that's available to them?
So our website is www.capenature.co.za. And then in our website, we've got a link to our online booking portal where they can create their bookings themselves. It's self-service. CapeNature on Facebook and CapeNature on TikTok and Instagram as well.
Marilyn, what I always enjoy is going on trips with seniors because they know the history. They've got deep interest in the understanding of heritage and how things have happened. When I go to the Cedarburg with my family, it's a history course, and it's fascinating to understand, like, okay, so there are not a lot of cedar trees because they're all chopped down because people needed to make telephone poles for the whole of the South African countryside. And then it becomes geographical, it becomes biological and biospherical, I guess, because it's about how the cedar trees, they're trying to bring them back. I went on this fabulous CapeNature excursion a few years ago planting cedar saplings in high altitudes in the Cedarburg. Talk to me a little bit about, from your experience through You've Earned It, about the ways that organizations like CapeNature, amongst others, are creating moments for heritage historical and also for nature and exploration and adventure.
I think it was quite interesting when I was doing the research for this book. It was really quite apparent that this age group are really interested in culture, in nature, in wildlife, in heritage, in conservation. And I believe that one of the reasons why is because they are very concerned about the future of the planet, and because they realise that they have to preserve all of this for, as we said earlier, for their children and grandchildren. And I think that the interest, the curiosity comes naturally because for that very reason, and because of their concern and about the way things are going.
And I guess the longer you've lived, the more you can track change, right? The more you can conceive of how things are different now with climate, with politics, with current affairs, with relationships that humans have with nature itself versus with the all-dominating screens that most of us spend most of our times on these days.
No, absolutely. And you can come into a place like this. By the way, did you know that this was Simon van der Stel's happy hunting ground way back?
I did not know that.
I did when I was researching this. I actually found that out. I thought it was quite interesting. But people coming in here will see the difference. We'll see the difference in the terrain. We'll see the difference in the growth, and I think it's of great interest to them. Plus the wildlife, the birds, as you mentioned earlier, Fatima. That is a huge interest to seniors, going to the game reserves, nature reserves, looking for birds, filling in their bird list, etc.
People
it
are
comes naturally.
extremely proud of those thick 500 and 900 page books with the illustrations and all their ticks in the back that they've had for like 30 years. It's extraordinary. I'm starting to get it, which I think means I'm getting old. I'm trying to be like, what is that bird? That is such an interesting little dinosaur
No,
left
your
over.
parents have taught you well. That's what it's all about.
Nah, it's not my parents, it's my grandfather, actually. Yeah. So, Marilyn, tell me a little bit. So, you've spoken about the future of this community. Seniors, are there going to be many more seniors as a slice of the population in the coming decades as nutrition gets better and quality of life gets better, which allows more people to live longer, medical intervention and the rest? And through You've Earned It, I imagine that you have a quite deep understanding of how collaboration between different government agencies, CapeNature, private business, kind of like trend influencers and travel content creators like yourself, how effective it is when those different kinds of organizations work together to actually be able to create special experiences and also to tell seniors about what they could be doing. Because, I mean, as you said, with the inspiration for You've Earned It is that you just didn't know what was possible beyond 55.
Yeah. I think I've learned a lot over time. And certainly, your heart bleeds for the SASSA pensioner who one cannot get through on. How does one get by on 2,000 rand a month? So that is really sad. I think You've Earned It is the appeal we have is probably from those who they have a pension, they have income coming in, and
Sure.
therefore they can afford the kinds of trips or the kinds of short breaks that CapeNature has to offer, or long breaks, whatever the case may be. The government organisations, I think, will leave them out of the conversation for the moment. I don't feel that the pensioners in this country are being looked after. So enough said.
I see.
And there's a lot to learn there. But we've learnt a lot about the likes and the dislikes and the trends, etc. in this particular demographic.
Absolutely.
And travel is huge. I mean, travel is a global trend in this age group. So there's nothing different. South African 55 pluses are the same as 55 pluses everywhere. Travel is top of their agenda.
Absolutely. So what is your imagination land thrilled dream of where You've Earned It will grow to, what it will become in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years?
We have plans afoot.
Oh, yes?
Yes.
Is it NDA'd?
Sadly,
or?
I can't share those with you. What I can tell you is that the website is about to be refreshed, and I'm sure CapeNature will be very happy about that. The website's about to be refreshed, and it is almost telling of this age group. You can look at the website and see what this demographic is like. As I said earlier, active, engaged, alive, vibrant. And that's how they want to be seen.
Amazing.
They haven't got one foot in the grave. Insurance, wills, estates, very important. But that is not everything that we want to portray to this group. It's about being alive and being able to enjoy life.
Absolutely.
And we think we do that quite well. We think we provide the 55-pluser with a lot of great content, a lot of places to visit, places to go, a lot of content on how to save, and yeah.
Superb. And Fatima, I know that CapeNature takes making the best possible CapeNature experience for seniors incredibly seriously. Tell me about feedback mechanisms that you have. I'm sure that CapeNature's approach is very dialogical with all of the people who use CapeNature facilities and conservation areas, but particularly with seniors. How are you finding out what's working and what's not? How are you really going, okay, if I can get that person to tell me how that was, we can make this better for them and others in the future?
Yeah, so we offer a checkout survey. So every time a guest checks out of our reserve, they'll receive a checkout survey via email. And so that gives the guest an opportunity to provide us with their feedback and their suggestions and so forth. And we receive that on a weekly basis. And we gather that information, we go through it. Each one that we receive
Really?
back, yes, we go through it. We see if
can't
it's
read the hate
positives,
mail.
if it's negatives, what they have to say about their booking experience and the reserve. And we compile that per reserve and we send it through to the management teams at those reserves. And they look at that information on how we can improve our services and our products and so forth. And then we've also got the customer care email box. So customers can send us their feedback via email, and the same process. We'll gather that information and send it through to the reserves. And, that allows us to consistently improve on our services and ultimately the overall customer experience. Yeah.
Incredible.
Could I interject here? Having heard you say all of that, Fatima, we've been having several conversations with many of our clients of late. And the clients that are doing really well are those that actually look after the senior. This is so apparent. And I mean, one particular organisation, they have one person dedicated to looking after seniors, and they're doing phenomenally well. And you're doing exactly the same. You're actually taking everything into account. And that's what seniors want. They want to be heard.
I see.
Definitely. And our reserves will provide us with the feedback. So, for instance, we had a customer recently who visited Marloth. And they sent through a suggestion of like the steps they flow into the floor.
I see.
And it makes it a little bit hard to see. So obviously there's risk involved. And they put through a suggestion to put some tape, bright colored tape, and maybe a little signboard up. And the reserve followed through with the suggestion, and they sent us the pictures afterwards, which we could then forward on to the customer.
I see.
So that person could see that we do take your comments seriously,
Absolutely.
your feedback. Yeah.
So interesting. Thank you so much to the both of you. It's been such a pleasure to sit here in this gorgeous conservation area at Assegai-Busch with both you, Fatima, and Marilyn. We appreciate you giving us some of your time here on Green Noise from CapeNature.